Yeah, man. Fast X. You know, like that. The review's in. I know that it's been out. I don't even know how long it's been out for, man. But I couldn't wait, so I had to watch it today. And fresh off the bat. When I mean fresh, I'm on about hour and 15 minutes ago is when I finished watching it, and I'm here to give my review on it. And you guys saw my reaction to the trailer. You know how I feel about Fast and Furious by now. Started off for me as a great movie franchise. I really enjoyed it as a kid. Lost its way a little bit. Started to, yeah. I mean, this happens though. I mean, if you're gonna make 10 movies, some are gonna be stale, and I think it veered away from what it was originally intended to be, which was about fast cars. And even though fast cars have been in the movie franchise the whole time, it's really gone away from that and turned into this different kind of action movie with unrealistic, I don't know, unrealistic stunts and stuff. I mean, let's be honest, every movie's got unrealistic stunts in it, but when you base the movie in reality from the start, and the only unrealistic thing kind of was like the nitrous oxide in the car, and you've gone from that to go into space, you know there's an issue. But now I've given my disclaimer on what I think about Fast and Furious. And I'm indoctrinated from being a kid, so I can't stop watching them. But I have stopped going to the cinemas to watch them. The last one I watched at the cinemas was Fast 8, I think. Might be Fast 8, Fast 7. And since then, I've found other means to watch it. So let's get into the review. So this movie, Fast X, the synopsis of this movie is pretty simple. Fast 5, probably my favourite Fast and Furious. That's the one when they go to Rio, they rob Herman Reyes and take the safe. And this is no spoilers because, you know, you've seen it in the trailer already. Upon taking that safe, Herman Reyes is killed within that when Dom's driving through the bridge with the safe. And Herman Reyes has a son who doesn't feature in Fast 5, but they do a good job in this of doing the retrospect, kind of like they're doing Batman vs Superman, where you get to see from Batman's point of view. You get that in this from Dante Reyes, the son of Herman, from his point of view and what happened to him. So now he's on a quest to get Dom back because his father died and the money was gone. And obviously we know that Dom burned the money. Now, that's it. That's literally it. And instead of just going out his way to kill Dom, he wants to torture him and obviously torture the ones he loves. He says it's a bit easier than just killing him. So it's more fun. And that's the whole basis of the movie. It's this guy against the family. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We live our life a quarter mile at a time. All of that, bro. No crust. So the stunts in this movie, they're great stunts. The filming of the movie was incredible. Always is, but it did have a bit of a Michael Bay like Bad Boys feel about it, if that makes any sense. But yeah, the colours, the locations are beautiful. You know, the regular Fast and Furious stuff, that's never been a problem. The cars were carring, but you know what I mean, the focus ain't really on them like that. The story, as I just said, it was a good story. It's not a very hard, detailed story to follow. It's very simple, but it was good. The characters, we got the regular family. We got Dom, we got Letty, we got Han, Roman, Cypher's in this, of course, Charlize Theron, Jason Statham, Mia, Jacob, which is John Cena, the little boy, which is Brian, and Ludacris's character, Tej, and Ramsey, which is the English girl. So, they all did their regular good job. I have to say though, I think I realised part of the reason why it's not that great. I don't think that, with all due respect, because I've seen all these people in other movies. So I was going to say I don't think they act to a very good standard, but I don't know if it's just the way the movie's been written or the way the script's been written, and it feels like they follow the script so rigid to the point where everything feels like they've just read it off a piece of paper. It feels like someone said, learn your lines, and then there's an action, and then you just... and it's getting a bit too much now. Obviously, we always have the jokes between Tej and Roman, and they're not funny anymore. And that used to be a massive thing of the movies, them two doing the joke thing, but it's not funny anymore. It's cheesy. It might be a fact as well that Tyrese in real life is a bit of a weird guy, and I can't help but shake that off because so when I'm watching it, I'm just like, okay, these jokes feel like AI wrote them. I'm not even joking. There's cameos in this movie. Uh, they don't add anything special. Could have just used a regular person for the cameos. The surprises in this movie. One of the surprises, I wanted to fly kick my laptop because it you'll see it when you see it. And then there's a post credit scene which offered something that I thought would happen anyway, and it actually made sense for the story. So I did like the post credit scene. Dom, regular cheesy Dom with the one liners. I just yeah, I have to say, man, there's just parts in the movie where Dom will just do something regular, but the way they film the movie is like he's just done something heroic. So it's not a spot. There's a part in this where he picks somebody up who's injured, and they film him from the ground up, and it's all dramatic. But all he does is picks the person up and walks off with him. He doesn't do anything else. And I mean, he doesn't do anything at all. I like the fight scenes in this, although unrealistic. That I'm not trying to be that guy, but all the women in this movie were kicking ass to a level that isn't even realistic. I'll give it to Cypher, which is Charlize Theron, because she's trained CIA agency, whatever. But the others, they're not trained in anything to be kicking ass like this, but they're kicking ass to an extreme level. Jacob, which is Jacob Toretto, Dom's brother, John Cena. Really liked him in the last one. Not really liked him, I liked him. This is just Peacemaker in Fast and Furious. This isn't Jacob. This is Peacemaker as Jacob. That's literally, I don't know what's going on there. His whole character changed. He was all giggly and that like he was in Suicide Squad. I don't know. The little boy was decent. He was all right. You know what I mean? Not going to be harsh on the little boy. He's only young. Apart from the fact he can drive, which makes no... The whole point of this is your family's at risk, and all they want to do is keep the son safe and the family safe, but they'll just let him drive and drift around just like it's nothing. So, I don't know, man. But the movie was decent. Obviously, we need to get onto the villain, which is Jason Momoa's character. Current theme for this movie. Jason Momoa's character was Jason Momoa, just ramped up a little bit and a little bit psychotic. It's very weird. They do explain in the movie that he's got mental problems and stuff like that, so that made sense for the character. But he wasn't that great. He was decent. He was a bit like, hoo hoo. He was one of them kind of guys, and he kept dressing like a woman and, you know, painting his nails and having weird hairdos and stuff like that. Kind of the unhinged whatever, so I'll let him off with that. But again, the levels of acting is a bit... I think they need to focus on, instead of just getting cameos, just get great actors in, because it's a bit meaty. But the movie as a whole was okay. If I had to give it a mark out of 10, I'll give it a... Let me mark it out on Fast and Furious out of 10 instead of marking it on regular movies, because this movie... I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Maybe a 6. Yeah, 6 above average, because the stunts in this, man, it's not stunts that's the problem, because it's an action movie. And like I said, if you didn't base it in 100% reality from the beginning, it wouldn't bother me as such. Like John Wick. I love John Wick's one of my favourite movies. I mean, it's up there. But John Wick gets ran over every movie, and he still lives in it. But we know that the Continental and all that stuff, it's an underground society. It's not really, you know what I mean? People are shooting and no one's paying attention. They film it intentionally like that. Whereas Fast and Furious, it's based in this, but Dom's a superhero. I watched Letty fall in this movie and mash her spine up and just get up. And Dom does something in this movie, and you probably won't even know when you watch it, because you're going to go, well, he's done more than one thing. But Dom does something in this movie with one hand, and he doesn't even... I don't know, man. I'm just going to say it in it, because maybe they'll never see this. But if I ever get invited to the red carpet, and I'm deleting this review. But Dom, Vin Diesel is the most average actor, bro. And I'm saying it, man. Vin Diesel's best part might be Groot, bro. I've been your boy, Big Savage. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. I'm sorry, man, but it is what it is. Run.